Today, we're transforming simple forms into fascinating drawings step by step. We'll discover how circles turn into ellipses in perspective, and how cylinders gain depth. And in the end, a simple cylinder will transform right before your eyes into a realistic bottle. Let's start with drawing a circle. I'm using the one-point perspective technique. The easiest way is to draw squares in perspective and place the circle inside them. That's because in perspective, a circle never appears perfectly round. It always takes the shape of an ellipse. By drawing squares from different angles, I'll help you understand this more clearly. First, position the square relative to the horizon line and the vanishing point. This square will serve as a guide. Then draw construction lines through the exact center of the square to divide it into 4 equal parts. These divided areas will help you place the circle's edges more accurately. Step by step, draw the square in correct perspective, divided with a horizontal and vertical line through the center. Fit the circle by drawing gentle curves from the corners toward the center. That way, you'll end up with a realistic-looking ellipse in perspective. Now let's draw some examples of creating an ellipse using two-point perspective. First, we set 2 vanishing points on the horizon line. By drawing lines toward these points, we create a square or rectangular surface in perspective. This surface is essentially the base where we'll place the circle. When we divide the surface with horizontal and vertical lines through the center, we get a guide to place the ellipse with correct proportions. Next, we draw curves from the corners toward the midpoints. When these curves connect, they form an ellipse that matches the tilt of the surface and looks correct in perspective. In short, the key to forming an ellipse in two-point perspective is first to build the square in perspective and then place the circle inside it using guiding lines. Let's draw this from different angles to reinforce the concept even more. Now we're going to create a cylinder using two-point perspective. The first step is to construct a rectangular prism. Then, on 2 opposite faces of the prism, draw diagonal lines to define the ellipse. Once the ellipses are drawn and connected, the cylinder takes shape. Let's now practice this by drawing it from different angles, both vertical and horizontal. Here are some important points to keep in mind. Start with accurate perspective lines. Always make sure your vanishing points and horizon line are set correctly, because even a small mistake here will distort the whole cylinder. Use the prism as a guide. The rectangular prism is not the final shape, but a framework that helps you place the ellipse correctly. Ellipses are never perfect circles in perspective.
pay attention to how wide or narrow the ellipse appears depending on the viewing angle. Connect ellipses smoothly. The top and bottom ellipses should align with each other, and the vertical edges must remain parallel to maintain the realism of the cylinder. Practice with different orientations. Drawing cylinders both vertically and horizontally in perspective will strengthen your understanding of form and depth.
Now I'm going to explain how to construct a cylinder using three-point perspective. After setting the 3 vanishing points, I start by drawing a rectangular prism. You can think of this prism as the box that contains the cylinder. Inside the box, I define the ellipses, and once I connect the lines between them, the cylinder takes shape. Now, let's reinforce this by drawing cylinders at different angles, both horizontal and vertical. To create a flawless prism in perspective, it's essential to pay close attention to the vanishing points. Every edge of the prism must be guided toward the correct vanishing point. If even one line drifts slightly away, the shape will look distorted and unrealistic.
Now, as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to turn cylinders into simple objects. See how easy and straightforward they are? From now on, using this technique, you'll be able to draw cylindrical objects much more easily. In this lesson, we learned how ellipses appear from different perspective angles, how cylinders are formed in perspective, and how to transform cylinders into a simple bottle. If you found this lesson helpful, your support motivates us to keep creating more videos. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.